Welcome back, YouTube. And for those who do not know me, hello. My name is Noah, and on this channel we talk about death, true crimes, haunted people, places, and things, spiritual reparations, and how you can fuck around and find out. If you're not subscribed to your bestie, please subscribe and turn your notification bells on. And if you're not following me over on TikTok, Facebook, or Instagram, make sure you follow me there as well. Now, before we start today's episode, sometimes I'll be having to put some of y'all in y'all place. Now, the first people that I need to put in a place because they absolutely deserve it is my Bali gang. Thank you so much for almost booking out the trip. We have 2 more spots left. I appreciate everybody that took advantage of Travel Tuesdays and the Travel Wednesday, even though it was only supposed to be Tuesday, but I gave y'all Wednesday too. We only have 2 more spots. Thank you, thank you, thank you to all of y'all. I appreciate you. Please check your email to make sure that you got your official invitation to join our Discord. We talk about the activities that we're planning on doing outside of the activities that are already included. We talk about our wardrobe because I'm extra, and we will be doing matching colored outfits one day because I am hiring a photographer and a videographer and all of the good stuff that comes with travel. So make sure you're checking your emails, please. And thank you again for booking. Now, the other people that I need to be put in a place is the people that keep commenting on my wallpaper. Let me tell you something. I asked y'all on TikTok how to fix this. And since everybody that was helpful gave me recommendations and it still didn't work, okay, it didn't work. And now that it's getting warm in my house because I have the heat on and I'm not running the air, it's getting even worse with the bubbles. Baby, I only got a couple more months. They already asked me to renew my lease. I want my deposit back, okay? The rent here is $2,500 a month. If you think I'm gonna fuck my walls up to appease your eyes, then you here for the wrong reason. Focus on the content. Please and thank you. I love y'all down. On today's episode, we will be exploring another portal location, okay? And it is a portal location that I want to say 99% of us have been to, but we've never been completely able to explore it. A portal location that is probably the scariest and unknown location that I've ever covered, and that is the ocean. The ocean is probably the biggest, oldest portal in history. I just know that y'all knew this was coming next. So according to Google, we have only explored 5% of our oceans, leaving 95% up to our imagination. And the shit that's coming out of the ocean and in the little spaces that they have explored, I'm not even trying to go on a cruise no more. It's absolutely unhinged. I mean, we have a lot that has happened in the ocean in the past year. Hell, in the past 2 months. Y'all gotta just understand, not only do we have to deal with people who passed in the ocean, our ancestors, our African ancestors jumping overboard, and then the things that came before all of that, the Book of Enoch. And if you're not familiar with that book, I highly recommend you get familiar with it because it would explain all of this activity underneath there. All of the spiritual reparations that some of these beings that live at the bottom of the ocean are making people pay. It is unhinged. It is absolutely unhinged under the water. And we're going to be watching some TikToks that explain a little bit further. And as always, I will be tagging the creator. This first creator goes by Dr. Khan on TikTok. And he is showing somewhere in the Pacific Ocean in 2017 a creature that no one's been able to explain what it is.
In 2017, somewhere in the Pacific Ocean, something scary was caught by an underwater drone. To this day, no one knows what it was. Some say this could be a sea serpent.
That thing is literally giving Ariel's worst nightmare. They say it's a sea serpent and it looks like it. Do you know or understand how many of these type of creatures that live in the ocean that have not been discovered in that 95% that we haven't even reached? How terrifying is even the thought? This creator goes underneath the handle of Fascinating Top 10, and it's going over the most terrifying places that are very much so real and at the bottom of the ocean. Just listen.
10 unsolved mysteries of the deep ocean that will leave you baffled. First, the Bermuda Triangle, where ships and planes vanish without a trace in the Atlantic. Next, the bloop, an underwater sound so powerful it was detected by hydrophones over 3,000 miles apart. The Sargasso Sea, known as the Sea Without Shores, traps vessels in its thick seaweed and is still not fully understood. Missing submarines, like the USS Scorpion and the INS Dakar, that disappeared, leaving experts clueless. The lost city of Atlantis, a mythic underwater city said to be lying in the depths, waiting to be discovered. SS Urang Medan, a ghost ship found adrift with a dead crew and no conclusive cause. Then, underwater crop circles off the coast of Japan, intricate designs that defy easy explanation. The underwater pyramids of Yonaguni, are they natural formations or submerged ruins of an ancient civilization? The eternal darkness, vast regions of the ocean that remain unexplored, Earth's final frontier. Lastly, Mariana Trench mysteries, the deepest part of our oceans, home to unidentified species and geological anomalies.
It's giving that something down there is way above our pay grade, babe. I mean, the mermaids are the least of our issues. You now know that UAP UFOs come out of the water. Okay? That's a fact. And now we are literally seeing things and realizing things, and the math is mathing. You got to think about in the Bible, in the book of Enoch, where God condemned the women who laid with the watcher angels and reproduced giants. He literally condemned them to the bottom of the ocean. And you know women, we gonna work on some shit and make it ours all the way. So just what if they're responsible for some of the things, some of the structures underneath water? Comment down below what you think about that. This next creator goes under the handle of 911, and he is showing some excavators who found some stairs in the middle of the ocean, and he is saying this is the entrance to Atlantis.
They found the entrance to Atlantis. Take a look at this. This is the gates to Atlantis, the underground world. And this is like where the mer people live and like the gods and stuff. This is Atlantis entrance.
Hear me out, because some of y'all gonna bite my head off. All right, and before I even say what I got to say, a lot of y'all, when I say my people, Africa, y'all like, sister, you ain't from Africa. Let me stop you right there. My people were stolen. My people were from Africa. Not all of us are, but my people were literally stolen. I've done the DNA test. From what I can understand, my people were stolen. So just hear me out on this theory that I have. I do believe that there is a place that is Atlantis-like. I don't believe it was called Atlantis. I believe Plato literally talked about things that were already in a pot of keys and passed down. I truly believe, being of African descent, that these stories came from the Orishas. Hear me out now. The Orishas in African mythology and African religion is so much older than Christianity. It's older than the Greek mythology. It is old as hell. It's 8,000 years older than Christ. So what that tell you? And some of the characters were mimicked after Orishas. And I truly believe that water spirits and y'all know what I'm getting at. Ain't nothing new. And if you have the common sense that God gave you and you study science, you know that all life forms started in Africa. So do I believe that there were pale people underneath the sea and that ran this beautiful, like, castle? No. Do I believe it happened? Yes. But I think they looked a little closer to us than we are led to believe. Comment down below what y'all think about that. This next video comes from an account called The Deep Dive, and they are talking about the mysterious bloop sound. And I know they touched on it in the other video, but they get a little bit deeper, not too much, right? But it is a phenomenon that scientists cannot explain.
If you ever hear this noise in the sea, escape as soon as possible. No, that's not the sound of a whale. Instead, you've stumbled upon what experts have dubbed the bloop. This mysterious sound is one of the 6 most peculiar recordings captured by scientists in the Pacific Ocean. What makes it particularly unnerving is the lack of a clear explanation for its source. While you might surmise it's a marine animal, no known creature can generate such a sound. So, what could it be? Some scientists theorize that gargantuan squids might be behind it, or maybe a previously undiscovered fish species, even larger than the blue whale. But the intrigue doesn't end there. Others hypothesize that the sound might be linked to monstrous beings, reminiscent of a 20th century tale where an author narrated the existence of a massive sea monster with vast tentacles and wings in the city of Derleth. Here's where the plot thickens. Derleth's supposed location eerily aligns with the coordinates of Point Nemo, the most remote spot in the ocean, farthest from any land.
You know what I think it is? I think it's the aliens starting up their Nissan Altimas, they spaceships, and letting them warm up so they can go fly across different cities, states, and countries and scare the shit out of all of us. That's what I think it is. Scientists can't explain it. I believe that that is some type of alien phenomenon. Now that we for sure know, which us spiritual girlies always knew that the aliens was underwater. We always knew that there was a portal down there. I never thought they were up in space. But now that we know, I truly believe it's their spaceship starting up. This next creator is It's Weird Time. We have featured this TikTok account on the channel several times. Shout out to him. Please go get this man a follow. He is amazing, okay? And I love his content, and y'all do too. But he is showing us the time that a bunch of people that appear to be on a cruise. That's what it looks like to me. I've been on several. Like just this year, probably 4. I be gone, y'all. Okay? But that's beside the point. Appear to be on a cruise and they look overboard and see something coming out the water.
These people saw a UFO coming out of the water, got it all on camera.
This was back in the spring. This was in March of this year. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. And I'm so mad that I'm just now seeing this because I have been saying, like, the government has been setting off bombs in the middle of the ocean. What are they trying to kill? For like a year and a half, y'all. And the fact that this was in the water and they're all like with their phones out, debunk that. What do y'all think that is? To me, it looks like what I think it is, and what they think it is, and what you think it is. Comment down below. This next creator goes under the handle of Fusion Universe, and it is like a photo flip, right? And I screen recorded so you can see everything, but it's of mysterious things found in the ocean. And this is why I say that this is a portal. All of the things, minus the ancient computer, which is another video for another time. I will not take y'all on a rabbit hole within a rabbit hole. But what I will say, most of the items that are found at the bottom of the sea are man-made. Things that you would see, probably just an updated version today, right? How'd they get down there? Y'all really think that alive people today put them down there? Or is it more likely that somebody's body got thrown overboard during a war, or someone fell overboard, or someone jumped overboard, or someone fell out the sky, or that a ship full of people sank? I mean, the Titanic, we can't even debunk that, right? We can't debunk that theory. So you have to think about it. The ocean has human spirits who are restless. Some are restless. They have these UAP beings, aliens. They have mermaids that were condemned there. They have water spirits that were there just probably as long as the fucking aliens. And y'all wonder why this was even a portal location. This has me stressed. This next creator goes under the handle of Grace, and she is discussing the time in the 1970s that they found some weird shit in the ocean. Just listen to her, y'all.
This is why the ocean freaks me out way more than space ever will. So back in the 1970s, that's very important, the 1970s, the Navy had put down an acoustic sensor device, and this went all throughout the bottom of the ocean. Its initial purpose before this project really got going was for them to map out the ocean floor and to be able to detect submarines and things like that. Now, this came out from someone in the Navy whose responsibility was to monitor the sensors on this. They were detecting underwater submersible type objects that were traveling at thousands of miles per hour, which wasn't possible at the time. This happened in the 70s. Said that on top of this, they had detected many structures underwater that were active and that the Navy needed to stay clear of because they didn't fully understand what it was. Like, how does the Navy not understand what it is? And this is a report from someone from the Navy in the 1970s. So much of our ocean has been left undiscovered. Maybe there's a reason why. But a lot of people think that this is a bunch of hoo-ha and it's just a legend. Let me know what you think and come over here if you want some of my long-form content.
Thousands of miles per hour. This is why I don't go out further than my mid-thigh. If you get water on my belly button, that means I'm feeling adventurous. But that's it. That's it, because just like these beings could travel thousands of miles per hour in the 70s, I'm not even trying to find out what they could do today. Okay? Even though I don't think the aliens are interested in us. I know I said in my other video, we're in danger of a war or whatever. I don't think so. They would have been fucked us up if they wanted to. But I'm not trying to find out. I'm actually fearing that they're leaving. Where y'all going without me? This creator goes by the handle of Nizzy Lord, and he is green screening a clip of the whales in the ocean acting very, very strangely.
Didn't I just tell y'all that there was something going on with the ocean and that the whales was trying to tell us something? Listen.
Approaching the Mahia coastline. This local watching from the top of the hill.
We thought, this is odd, this isn't normal.
Fascination quickly turning to concern.
You're gonna get beached, mate. Oh my God.
The 45-odd false killer whales and one bottlenose dolphin first stranded before 2 p.m. yesterday at the rocky beach in Taylor's Bay.
They were screaming. It is probably the thing that's stopping me from sleeping because you can hear this screaming in your ears. They were making more than a noise. They were really yelling out for help.
I told you.
Strandings aren't uncommon. For this species, it's extremely rare.
With the tragic events that unfolded, there's got to be something in the haystack to look for that is a bit of positivity, and we hope to learn a lot more.
Like why these creatures stranded in the first place.
I put up the video about the whales in the ocean, and I told you I was trying to tell us something. And the last other video I dropped about the ocean, I told y'all. Oh my!
Now, this was back in May, and the whales wasn't messing with whatever was out in their home. Whales are very, very intelligent. You should look them up. Them and dolphins are really those girls. They are smart as hell. And for them to take refuge and come up to shore that close, and these are killer whales, something terrified them and scared them. Or it's something down there that they don't want no parts of. The whales know something that we don't. This next clip comes from an account called Elon Musk Clips. I suspect that Elon Musk is talking to Joe Rogan, but I cannot be sure. But in this clip, he explains how scientists found an ocean underneath the ocean. Just listen.
So you know that they just discovered a massive ocean beneath the Earth's crust, right? Listen carefully, right? Because the theory at the end makes a bit of sense. Scientists literally just discovered an ocean 430 miles beneath the Earth's surface. Basically, they went down 430 miles in the ocean and found an ocean inside the ocean. Does this mean the Agartha theory is real? The Agartha theory says that there is a legendary city residing in the Earth's core. Because think about it, how can you find another ocean inside the ocean? Everything you knew about the oceans is wrong. The scientists said that you could take all three of our oceans, Atlantic, Pacific, and the Indian, and put them together. And this new ocean is still 3 times bigger. This is what you're probably thinking. So they got to the bottom of the ocean, and then the water ended. But in reality, they find another ocean. This raises so many questions. How do you go 430 miles beneath the ocean? Does the water stop at some point? And if there is water beneath the oceans, could that mean there is land beneath the surface? Some people link this with the theory about the flood from the Bible, like where did all that water go?
Now I have a theory. Hear me out, and y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but we're all crazy, right? Now all my millennials that are between the ages of 25 and 35, y'all remember when SpongeBob used to go to the beach underneath the ocean? What if? Because we thought it was crazy. We thought it was absolutely ridiculous to see a sea sponge go to the beach and really play in the water. And here we are finding out that there's kind of another beach inside of the beach, as well as there is a whole city that is theorized to be underneath there as well. That isn't Atlantis. This next creator goes under the handle of Kayla Lorraine, and she's explaining the ocean biblically. Now, I must warn you, some of the things she says, she is a Christian, and we will respect our good sis, Kayla Lorraine, for her opinions. We may not agree with everything, but we will respect them. Listen.
I really just don't think you guys are ready for this conversation. If we really get biblical with it, I promise you, you will never want to go into the ocean again. Because we are separated from the waters above and the waters below by the firmament set by God. The demonic marine kingdom is very much real. And I wouldn't put it past the ocean to have a whole kingdom of demons at the bottom of it. Not to mention the fact that space is actually at the bottom of the ocean, and the aliens that you think you see are demons. Why do you think that Jesus walked on water? Why do you think he calmed the sea? To show dominion over the demonic marine kingdom. Why do y'all think that the demons that were in the pigs begged to go into the water? Because that's their domain. Let's look at the very beginning of the Bible. In the beginning, God made from nothings the heaven and the earth. The earth was an empty waste and darkness was over the deep waters. Satan is darkness. Another verse. Matthew 12:43, when the unclean spirit, aka demons, is gone out of a man, he walks through dry places seeking rest, but he finds none. What's the opposite of wet? Dry. And he can't find a home in dry places, so he has to go to a wet one, aka the water. Why do you think demons like to inhabit humans so much? Because we are 70% water, guys. Are you hearing me? Ever been on a cruise? I will tell you one thing. The first time I went on a cruise and I was in the middle of the ocean at night, I was so scared. Like, not even because I didn't know what was under me, but I felt this incredible feeling of unease. Like, I was like, I shouldn't be here. I don't belong here. Where is land? Y'all, there is so much to be said about the ocean. I can definitely do a part 2. We can talk about the Leviathan for one, freaking sirens. There is just so much going on. But it is a wrap for this video. As always, make sure you like and follow and comment down below what you think.
I say this with all the love in my heart because there is no disrespect to this creator at all. But I must say that everything that was written in that book is not 100% true in my eyes, in my head. Okay? And again, hear me out. Most of the Bibles that we are reading in, or out of, I should say, were written by colonizers who use the same magic on us to convince us to get on those boats and to come here. But a lot of what's written in the Bible is true because it was stolen and rewritten so many times from the Ethiopians because they have their own Bible. Christianity definitely, and it's not even Christian. I don't like to call it Christianity, but this type of spiritualism was in Ethiopia for thousands of years before colonizers even got a hold of it. I'm trying to use my words carefully because I'm not trying to offend anybody. I love my Christians, okay, my Christian brothers and sisters, but those sirens were only condemned because they laid with the watcher angels, right? And the reason why they were being condemned is because they were teaching them the things that we use today as spiritualists. They were telling them what herbs to use, how to conjure, amongst other things. That's why I say if you have not read the book of Enoch, please read it, okay? But I don't think everything that's down there is demonic. I feel like sometimes my Christian counterparts fear things that they don't understand or don't know. But if you just go back to the text that your ancestors wrote, that the indigenous people wrote, and other cultures wrote, you will see that not every single thing is demonic. They turned it into that to brainwash us into thinking that every single water spirit is bad, and that is not the case at all. This next creator goes underneath the handle of J. Shonda, the goddess, and she's showing us a movie clip, and she's going to explain why all along, and this was posted back in July, before anybody ever exposed, any government official ever exposed that there were UFOs underneath the water. And she explains why she suspected, even back then, with the rest of us spiritualists, that space was underwater.
Alright y'all, so if you go back and watch my previous video, I briefly mentioned that I think there's a very high possibility that space is water. And before y'all think I'm crazy, hear me out, let me explain. When the sun is out, the sky appears blue. When the sun shines into the water, it also appears blue. Then once the sun goes down, both the sky and the water appear like a dark blue to black color, right? I think the bottom of the ocean leads to space. The deeper you go in the ocean, the more it looks like space. You almost thought that was space, didn't you? Just like space, the deeper you go into the ocean, the darker it gets, the colder it gets, which in space that's confusing because the sun's supposed to be up there, so how's the sun beating us up and burning us up down here, but it's freezing in space? It makes no sense to me, but that's neither hither nor thither. But just like space, the deeper you go into the ocean, the more pressure there is as well. Hence why you need a sea suit. And look at the modern day sea suits. Looks very familiar, huh? It's just oddly similar to the spacesuit. Here we have a cruise ship, or sea ship. Here we have a spaceship. Then there's the rocket ship. They're all called ships because they're all going through the water. Notice that we cannot classify an airplane as a ship because it's not flying through the waters that's above us and it's not soaring through the waters that's level with us, correct? We classify them as airplanes because they are flying flat in our Earth's local atmosphere. You can float very easily in water, just like you can float very easily in space. You can practically swim in space. Look at them. The same way you do in water. Astronauts even prepare in the water to go to space. There are even black holes in the ocean. They're actually called eddies, but they are very similar to the black holes we see in space. If something gets sucked into them, it's not getting out, and we don't know where it goes. And this also looks similar to whirlpools. Literally just edit some stars on there and it looks the exact same. And who's to say that these USOs, or chariots of God, aren't using these whirlpools and these black holes as portals to go to and from the heavens and the earth? And just like I showed you guys using that clip in the beginning of my video, who's to say that's not possible? You saw him go through the water, which took him through this tunnel or this portal or this black hole that took him all the way into space, and when he exited that portal, he went through water again. Who's to say that the black holes, the waters in the ocean, is not leading them to the waters that are found in the water reservoirs up in space that have way more water than the water found on our Earth? I mean, we truly don't know what's actually down there, because as of 2024, we've only explored approximately 5% of our world's ocean. That's 95% we haven't even touched. And I'm sure you've heard the saying, as above, so below. You got waters above and waters below. That's just how the world works. But come back for part 2 if you want to go deeper.
A lot of people back then called her crazy. I mean, called her insane. And this was just a mere, how many months now? Maybe 4 to 5 months? Not even 6 months. Sorry, y'all. But they called her crazy. I'm going to go to her page and see if she posted an update. And if not, I'm going to comment on this video and let her know how well this aged. This next creator goes underneath the handle of Don't Ghost Me. And he's explaining how there were a lot of accidental fires in the middle of the oceans, experimental bombs going off, and how now the math is mathing.
With all the discussion about UFOs coming from our oceans, some people are starting to question past events that happened altogether. Many of you may remember this, but a few years ago, around 2021 and 2022, there was a series of accidental ocean fires, as well as US Navy tests where they were detonating massive bombs in the middle of the ocean. At the time, people didn't think too much of it, but with all the recent discussion about UFOs and their relationship to the ocean, some people are starting to theorize that these events weren't mere accidents and tests, but that these were planned, purposely executed, and targeted at underwater UAPs, and some people even going as far as to say that they were targeting a marine kingdom or underwater base altogether. Now obviously those are just theories and speculations, there's no hard evidence behind those claims, but I do remember seeing an interesting video around the same time of a swarm of UFOs over the ocean. I want you to check out that clip and let me know what you think in the comments.
God, at all. Then all of a sudden, bam, what is that? Anybody tell me what that is? We're in the middle of the ocean, on a ferry. Nothing around. Look. Nothing around.
With the government, there are no coincidences. There's no accidents. There's no experimenting. They absolutely knew that there is something down there that needed to be destroyed, and that's why they were doing what they did. This next clip comes from an account called DYU, and it's showing a diver in the deepest parts of the ocean. Just take a look.
Watch carefully. This is the terrifying scene a diver discovered when diving deep. He had stepped down to the seabed, unexpectedly encountering a pitch-black hole, deep and cold like the gates to hell. The diver's restless legs couldn't resist the curiosity, so he decided to dive down to investigate. As he quickly dove to the bottom, he suddenly bumped into a companion, but strangely, the companion vanished upon contact as if they had never existed. Panic began to take hold of him, but he knew there was no turning back. He continued to dive deeper, feeling the icy water piercing through his diving suit. Suddenly, a massive shadow appeared before his eyes, with the rough and mysterious edges of the black hole. At a depth of about 20 meters, he discovered an old iron net with traces of human construction from ancient times. His heart raced, fearing what awaited below. He glanced into the black hole, and in that moment, he felt as if thousands of invisible eyes were watching him. Unable to bear the fear, the diver hurriedly swam up like a water monkey, feeling icy hands pulling him down. But when he looked back, there was only the deep darkness and absolute silence.
Who built that gate? We have to stop thinking that this is not possible. We got to, because when I watched this clip, I'm like, oh my God, he only saw the tiniest speck of what could be the biggest ancient civilization that we've never seen, even though I believe the government has seen it. I don't buy that they only seen 5% of the ocean. I don't. I don't. That shook me because who built them gates underneath the ocean? This next account goes underneath the handle of Sutton Dervella, and it is explaining what I fear the most about the aliens.
Underwater aliens aren't being revealed because they were discovered. They're being revealed because they're leaving us. The strange weather patterns. The sudden government interest in ocean anomalies. It's all connected. They've lived beneath our oceans for millennia. And now they're preparing their exit strategy. Our world leaders already know who they'll sacrifice when the beings demand, "Take me to your leader." The space research we've been doing, it was never about exploring the stars. It was about understanding our underwater neighbors. We're entering the age of Aquarius. And while everyone's making jokes about not caring, using humor as a shield, something massive is unfolding. Just like during COVID, when nobody wanted to believe it was serious. I'm telling you now, this is only the beginning. They're surfacing. And our world will never be the same.
Please don't leave us. Please. I know in my other video I was like, yeah, I don't know, but that was just me being a troll. I've never been afraid of the aliens. If that was the case, I would have moved out of Las Vegas a long time ago because we have plenty of UFO, UAP sightings. I mean, the aliens literally are on the news in people's backyards. That does not scare me, right? But them leaving scares me because they, I feel like, have kept the peace for a long time. You got to remember whenever the children at recess in South Africa encountered aliens. And if you don't know, I can do a story on it. I'm thinking about doing a story time on it. And they were telepathically showing and telling the kids how Earth is going to be in the next whatever, how many ever years. And it was messed up. And they were like, if y'all don't be the change, y'all ain't going to make it. Please come back. And if not, come get me, please. Thank you. This next clip is Don't Ghost Me Again. And he's explaining the correlation between the Book of Enoch and the information that the government has just released to us.
The government has come out and stated that UFOs come from underwater, and many people have been talking about it. But did you know that this was also talked about in the Book of Enoch? According to the Book of Enoch, when a group of human women laid with a group of angels known as Watchers, they reproduced, thus creating giants, aka Nephilim. And as a consequence, God punished the Watcher angels by chaining them beneath mountains until Judgment Day, and punished a group of women by cursing them with a demonic form, turning them into sirens, or what some people consider mermaids. It's speculated that from this point, the sirens took the advanced knowledge they learned from the Watcher angels, went deep into the ocean, and built what we know as the Marine Kingdom. Swiftly, if you don't know, the Marine Kingdom is a term used to describe a place deep within the ocean that not only has sentient, potentially humanoid-like beings, but full-on advanced civilizations and communities, which some people theorize are far more advanced than what we have here on the surface. And with the government admitting that UFOs and UAPs come from deep within the ocean, maybe that theory isn't as far-fetched as it sounds.
Okay, hear me out. I know I've said that a million and one times during this video, but y'all know how I feel about the mermaids and the water and the spirits. It's very near and dear to me. I do believe this theory. I believe that God, or who they consider God, because who knows, these people could have condemned these women to the water and they were just mere men. Who said God spoke to them? We don't know. We can only go off of text. So going off of text, I truly believe that they condemned these women to be water spirits. And actual water spirits took them in, La Sarine, because I've told you 1,000,001 times that not all of these mermaids, sirens, are bad. Some of them will bring you back with better power, more knowledge than you had before, right? But I do believe that these women who were condemned to the ocean were taken by water spirits and they built this kingdom. I truly do believe that. So I don't feel like this creator is far off. I just feel like the logistics are off, if that makes sense. This next creator goes by the handle of True Crime with Bella, and she is explaining the abyssal vortex that's underneath the water. I had never heard of this. I knew there was a portal down there and probably a vortex, because where there's a portal, a vortex is not too far behind it. But she breaks it down and I'm shook.
Have y'all heard about these creatures that they found in the ocean, y'all? And about a whole nother world that is in the ocean that basically is like a parallel universe slash, like, you know, upside down universe, like literally like Stranger Things. And these creatures that they saw under the water, like, were anything we've ever seen as humans. So basically, an explorer went down to the bottom of the ocean and discovered this vortex. And this vortex is what they're saying is the portal to this upside down parallel universe, and where the extraterrestrial life form is even living at. Like, this is where they're from, the ocean. Y'all, honestly, all this information is not new to me because I've been into this stuff for so long, but this is crazy. I believe it's called an abyssal vortex, so look it up if y'all want to. But it's, when you look into this kind of stuff, it really starts making sense even more as they come out with the information. The U.S. government is even saying that there is proof of other life forms. I just want to see the aliens.
I believe her. And it's not even that I believe her. I believe what she's saying. And the aliens will never show themselves to us because we're not mature enough. Us millennials will roast up some aliens. And they know that if we see them, then the mystere and the wonder is gone. As well as there is a danger to them if they expose themselves. You know who know what aliens look like? The government. Why do you think that some of our presidents, some of our beloved presidents look so old after getting out of office? I would look old too if I knew the cure to cancer, HIV, and I knew what aliens looked like, and I knew that they existed, and I knew where they were, and I've seen pictures. This last creator goes under the handle of the Nightmare Kids, and he is showing a soldier being snatched up by something under the water, which he theorizes that is a water spirit. Just look.
So now they have completely stopped me from commenting on my own post. I haven't said anything derogatory. So we're going to get straight into it. Y'all see here we have a Russian soldiers here. And this guy's now being pulled into the water by a water spirit, what we called AKA the Merman. I'm going to give you full disclosure on what the hell is going on. The other guy seen it. He was scared to death. Once he seen he was being pulled in and he seen the other mermans around, he didn't want to become a victim. Now this merman is a water spirit, so it can also shapeshift just like a reptilian. They have the same exact DNA. And a lot of people don't know this, but I'm going to go and bust it down for you because so many people came across this video and don't even know what they're looking at. See how the guy's thrown back in there? Boom. Body's thrown back in, then here you go. Spirit walks out. See that? Look at him. See, once he tried to grab for to help his battle buddy, hell no, gotta go. Dude rolled right on out because there wasn't anything he can do for him at this point. See how his body's thrown in that and the spirit walks out of there? That's the spirit of devouring. You have a lot of these water spirits in national parks and all through rural areas where you can find water, ponds, lakes, rivers, oceans. This has been going on for a long time. And I can tell you right now, their voices, they sound beautiful, man. They lure you right in. Old school stories of settlers. My granddaddy did 36 years. My other granddaddy, rest their souls, 32 years in the Navy, both of them. 36 years and 32 years. And they told me a lot of stories about these things too. But on another note, like I said, man, we're going to bust it down. You see him right there? Boom. It grabs for him, nothing he can do to save him from the water spirit. He hauls ass. Gets right out of there. Nothing he can do for him. It's sad, man. And we're going to wind here. Boom. He's calling for backup.
believe that water spirits are real by now and you've been following me for a while, I don't know what to tell you. I can't convince you because I'm never going to fuck around and find out in that way. But just know that they out there and they're older than anything that you think you know. Them and the aliens are going neck for neck in age. Okay? Water spirits have been talked about for centuries, especially in Africa. What pulled him underneath that water like that? Comment down below if you think you know. That is all for today, YouTube. And if you're interested in me covering a person, place, thing, topic, situationship, let me know. Please email me. I have been collecting y'all stories. If you have a spooky story about a haunted house, anything paranormal, cryptid, please send it to me because I have been posting them on TikTok and the girlies are loving it. And until next time, y'all do good, be good, and stay safe.